Hello everyone and welcome to Vancouver, Canada. I'm Jay Todd with the APCW up here talking to Mr. Calvin Ayre, industry icon. First it was George Foreman, then Michael Jordan. We're talking about professionals who left their industry to come back and win championships. And I think that's what's about to happen now with Mr. Ayre's return to Bodog. You were at the helm for a while. You left, you retired, and now you're back. What brought you back? I mean, what's your position within the company, and are you still at the helm of Bodog?
Bodog, it's actually a big group of companies now. I left Bodog, if you consider Bodog to be what was originally there, which is Bodog.com. But when I sold Bodog.com in 2006 to Elwin Morris and his Mohawk group in Kanawaki, I did something that was smart that I actually didn't really do on purpose. It's just the way the deal was structured. I retained the rights to the Bodog brand and to the technology. And as I was sitting down in Antigua trying to figure out what I was going to do with myself, since I'd stopped running an online gaming company, I realized that that model that I'd done with Elwin would be quite effective in other jurisdictions as well. So subsequent to that time, I've done a branding deal with Bodog Europe, and I've done one in Asia, and I'm working on a fourth one right now, which will be announced in September, which will be basically a global poker network, which will be Bodog branded. Okay, so you have retained the rights to the Bodog brand, but you're licensing it out there. What are the benefits to this structure? I mean, there must have been a motivation, obviously, for doing this. How does all this work in your favor? Well, with the way it's structured right now, I've got a global branding entity that is licensing the brand, and all the various jurisdictions are all going to be positively reinforcing each other. So any ads, let's say in Europe, that are run on a Premier League game will be picked up on television in Asia. So the different branded entities are going to be positively reinforcing each other. But on top of that, it allows the brand to be very rapidly allowed the brand to go into every major market simultaneously. So we're in Asia, as a brand, we're in Asia, we're in Europe, North America, Canada, pretty much all of the major markets. And it's going to make it much more simple for us to also go into other markets such as Latin America, which is where I think we'll be going next. We're actually actively looking for a group to work with in that area. Okay,
I understand there's a lot going on in Latin America and Asia. I want to get back to that in just a moment, but while I have the opportunity, it's not every day that you are fortunate enough to sit down with someone like yourself who's a mogul in this industry. But I wanted to ask a question a little bit more difficult. Back in 2005, you did an interview with Forbes Magazine, and the whole gist of this interview, was "Catch Me If You Can." You were on the cover as one of the most eligible billionaires in the world. Title I think many gentlemen out there envy, but the "Catch Me If You Can" became kind of infamous. It seemed to some people maybe it was directed at some way. What's the truth behind that? We were talking about this before we sat down, and the "Catch Me If You Can" thing is really not at all what the interview was about. I mean, did you even say "Catch me if you can"?
No, actually I said pretty much the exact opposite. At that time, my position was that we were a mainstream entertainment company who happened to be in online gaming, and we were licensed and regulated in the jurisdictions that we're in. I think that they just did that just to make the article more attractive, and it certainly worked. And I think it definitely is something that's associated with me now, but not necessarily in a bad way. I mean, it depends on how you look at it. It actually gave me street cred, so from a street level perspective, it probably has been beneficial. But absolutely, I said the exact opposite.
Right. I mean, you guys, Bodog was into, Bodog Fight and a bunch of other stuff.
Correct.
And online gambling was just a small portion of that. But, being in a company like Bodog that is involved in a bunch of different things, I mean, you're always looking for expanding in emerging markets. And you had mentioned just a moment ago about the potential for Central America, but especially Asia. You guys have an interest in expanding your brand into Asia, and understand that you're actually in the middle of opening that up right now.
Right. We did a deal a year or so ago with Haydock Entertainment out of Manila, and they're taking the Bodog brand into Asia. And I'm particularly excited about Asia because I've actually spent a lot of time there over the years. I see it as a huge market, and I really like the live video streaming casino stuff that they do there. And I want to learn a lot more about that in working with Haydock and see if we can maybe bring that out and offer that into other areas in the world where it's not quite as popular. I see that as an emerging area in online gaming.
Cool. Well, what's your brand over there? It's Bodog88.com?
Yeah, Bodog88.com is the domain that they're using right now, but they actually have the right to use any Bodog branded domain as long as it's targeted into their jurisdictional Asian area.
Excellent, excellent. And geo-targeting is a big part of what you guys are doing right now.
Yeah, geo-targeting allows us to have a franchise model like this and actually monitor it so that people in one jurisdiction will go to any Bodog site and they'll actually get sent to the site of the licensee that's in their area.
Excellent, excellent. Well, you know, I thank you so much for opening yourself up to the industry, opening your beautiful condo to me. I understand you designed this condo. Interior design is one of your hobbies.
Correct. I've designed homes all over the world, and this is one of the ones I'm very proud of. It's an excellent job. I've sold it, but we still have access to it for shoots like this, so
Wow.
I'm happy to show it off.
Well, you know, interior design is great and all, but you're Calvin Ayre, man. Come on, you must have another hobby.
Well, maybe a few.
Hey guys.
Hello, girls. So, J. Todd, we're finished our interview. So, my suggestion is, let's hit the water.